Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. On this channel, we go deep on the subconscious mind, the power of your mind, the power you have in your life. I am big on self-development. We'll definitely be talking about self-development and manifestation, creating a life of your dreams. So let's get straight into today's video. Today, I want to talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Have you ever come across that picture somewhere on the internet or wherever where you see it's like this huge iceberg, but the part that you could see above the surface, in the water is just the tip of the iceberg, but really it's like this ginormous, huge iceberg. So I like to think of it as the tip of the iceberg is your conscious mind, right? It's only about 5 to 10% of your life, not even. And then the subconscious mind is the whole ginormous part of the subconscious mind. It's the rest of it, it's underneath the surface. Without going into it and working with it and learning what's there, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, like I was for most of my life, right? So, the subconscious mind carries all your beliefs, your deep seated patterns, ways of being, acting, behaving. And I have my dog Libby over here. She insisted on being with us. So I'm gonna, just so if you see a little fur ball over here, you know what it is. That's Libby. So the subconscious mind, it's 95 to 97% of your life it runs, okay? So you really do want to get into it if you are not already. I love to dive into it. I love to see what's underneath the surface, because it's like it's taking radical responsibility for your life. It's not pointing the finger. It's easy to point the finger and blame everyone in your life, but you'll be left alone in this world, is how I feel about that. And you don't want to do that. You want to know that you do have control, and you have control over yourself, your mind, your body, your ways of thinking. So, you know, I know Louise Hay says this thing, like, or used to say this thing, I should say, because she has passed on, but she used to say this thing that goes like, when there is a problem, I don't try to fix the problem, I fix my thinking, and then the problem fixes itself. I mean, if I had a mic, I would drop it. It's so good. And I have found it to be really true. So if you're here, I'm going to assume that you're really into this work, or you're going to get into this work. So maybe you're already practicing this stuff. Maybe you love Louise Hay, right? And if you didn't, you want to check out her work. She's amazing. And so yeah, the conscious mind, just to finish that bit off, is me having this conversation with you right now, or this talk to the camera rather, is me using my conscious mind, right? It's what you use in the day to day, every single day. It's how you make decisions, right? Again, it's very surface level. So, real change though happens when you intentionally use both your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And here are some ways and tools that I use to do this effectively, and it has really transformed my life. As cliche as that may sound, I I don't feel like a different person. I know I'm not, nor do I want to be a different person. I just learned to really love and accept myself truly, deeply, unconditionally. And along the way, I changed my way of thinking and changed my way of behaving and the way I show up in the world. And it has changed my life. It's made me into a better version of myself. And that's what I hope for all of us, is that we just become better versions of ourselves. You don't want to lose who you are. You're amazing and you are enough as you are. We just want to evolve and do better and better and like look back and be proud of ourselves always, continuously. So that's the way that I see it. And that's my whole reason for this self-development work is, and I want my children to know that even if you're an adult, you are not perfect. You don't have it all figured out. You don't have all the answers. You don't have the key to happiness necessarily. Even if you have all the, surface level things, like there's real work to be done to find true happiness, and how to pick yourself back up from the lows because we're all going to experience them. It's a part of the human experience. And that's another thing that I think is important to know. This used to be my attempt. It's going to sound really silly, but I'm going to be completely honest. Self-development, I thought if I could like do all the self-developments and like, you know, say all the affirmations and be, completely cultivate a positive mindset and outlook on life, then I'll avoid bad things from happening. Like I'll somehow block them, because I'll be doing the right thing, living the right way. And I have found that that's not necessarily how it works. So we've shifted that into realizing that the human experience includes all of it. That's what we came here for. You can't really experience bliss and love without experiencing heartache and, really low lows and grief and so I'm here for it all. And the self development, though, I have found in my experience has really helped me deal so much better. You still go through it, you still feel the stuff, but you don't suppress and you don't like sweep it under the rug. You look at it, and I found that it passes quicker also, and I also am one of those people that believes that everything happens for a reason. Like there are lessons to be learned is what I mean by that. So, using that shift in your life when things are going, undesirably or in an unexpected way that you didn't see coming, it helps to sometimes just shift the way you see it and like, okay, what is this here to teach me? You know? And it might sound silly at first, but I promise you will find ways that you're learning and growing, an opportunity for growth and for learning. And it could be patience, it could be clarity, it could be seeing it for what it is as opposed to like, making it and exaggerating it into a whole like doomsday in life. Meanwhile, it's this one little mishap that you're not even going to remember next year or in 6 months. So these things, I think, prevent wrinkles. I think like it keeps us younger. It like stress is a killer. And I find that like this way of being and thinking just like really it grounds you and it just like it quiets the noise and you remain in your power. And when you get out and forget your power, you shift back quickly. Your comeback rate is quick, right? And that's also what I've noticed. Like my comeback rate where I, can like we all I'm sure can in different ways spiral and lose our shit and you know feel like your life is over and oh my god, how are you going to get past this? And like we make it the worst case scenario, and then but really if you like zoom out you can see that it's actually not so awful and we're going to get through it. We've gotten through worse. So I find that my comeback rate to that point where I look at it for what it is and I'm like, okay, is this really that bad? What do I have control over? Oh, right, my mind. So how can I shift things in a way where I'm being productive. I'm seeing this for what it is. I'm gaining clarity. I am open to solutions, right? When you're in a fight or flight state, like that's what you are. When you're like spiraling and freaking out over something, your nervous system is in fight or flight. And you can't make decisions. You can't make good, rational decisions in that state. You don't want to be making decisions in that state. So the key is to center yourself, recenter yourself, come back to yourself, put your hand on your heart. Take 3 deep breaths is one way you could do this. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And that's another thing. Like, we're not even taking conscious and deep breaths throughout the day. Sometimes we go days and probably our whole lives, without taking like good deep breaths. And when you do that, you calm your nervous system. You let your signal to your nervous system that you are safe to come back to yourself, calm your nervous system. And I find that I'm able to stay, or come back to, rather, my comeback rate is really quick, with like in my power every day or for longer periods of time when I'm doing my daily upkeep, mental health upkeep, and emotional health upkeep. And that's, for me, that's hypnosis. If you're new here, I'm certified in hypnotherapy. I swear by it. I love it. It's a quick way to get into your subconscious mind. And, I know I'm going to say this because I know when I first, maybe not first, but when I used to think of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, I would think like quacking like a duck and doing stupid things, like beyond your control, like you being their puppet, the hypnotist's puppet. And it's not like that at all. Not the way I learned it and do it and practice it. And it's a quick and easy way to get into your subconscious mind. And learning, you guys, what's in there, it makes perfect sense to you once you become aware of it, right? And like I said, that's how you create lasting change. Because when even just the awareness of what goes on in your subconscious mind and old outdated beliefs that you likely have in there, we all do. I don't know if you saw that, people say like that's like an angel. So makes you feel like warm and fuzzy. So I think it's important to have reasons for doing things, especially for sticking to habits, especially beneficial habits like your mental health and taking care of it and looking what's underneath the surface, right? So, oftentimes we can be in like a bad mood and we don't know why we're in a bad mood. Have you found yourself saying this ever? Like, I feel like I don't know what this is. Like, I have anxiety or I'm in a bad mood and I don't know why. Nothing happened. I don't understand. So that's a great time to realize, like, let me look beneath the surface. Let me dive right in there and see what's going on. And so a great way to do that is to journal. Even if you do it on your phone, like I know a lot of people tend to just do that form of journaling. And I know like the iPhone has like a journal app, which is really cool. And you could do voice notes and put in pictures or videos from what I understand, which is also awesome. But once you start journaling, it's such a powerful tool. And you realize it as you do it, when you do it, after you do it. It's like one of those things that you have to try to like really get. So, because when I first heard about it too, I was like, yeah, no, what are we, like teenagers journaling, like diary, and I thought it was strange. And then I did it. And I got it. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. And there's something powerful that happens when your mind sees you writing things down in your handwriting. So I think it can be super powerful in many different ways. I think it's powerful to go into your subconscious mind, like I said, and I'll get into how to do that exactly, like a little practice that you can use to do that in a journal. But also it can clear limiting beliefs. It can, bring awareness to limiting beliefs, to where they came from, which is the work. Finding and becoming aware of your limiting beliefs, and then also like tracing them back to where they came from is so powerful in and of itself. And then you get to choose a new belief that you want to believe moving forward. And that alone can change your life, like one belief. I'm not even kidding. So it's pretty amazing what this work can do for like free writing. Like you can call it brain dumping also. I know a lot of people like to do this in the morning. It's not my thing. I'm just putting it out there in case you want to try it. Like when you're enraged, right? When you're super angry, super emotional, right? It's a great way to let it out when you just write it all out. So if you can bring yourself to do that in those moments that are like that feel so big and you don't know how to handle it and you don't know what to do, but you do know that if you start, you might regret what you say, or you might come off in a way that you don't want to come off, or like we affect each other greatly. So like dumping all of that on someone when it's heavy for you to handle can maybe be a little unfair, unless it's, a mental health professional, your therapist maybe. Otherwise, I find it super helpful to just write it all out. And sure, maybe you don't want to keep all that there, right? Take it, rip it out, and burn it. But I promise you, you're releasing it. When you're writing all out, the level of relief that you will feel, because it's outside of you and onto this paper now, and then tearing it up and throwing it out, flushing on the toilet, or, going outside in a safe way, burning this paper, again, in a safe way, is such a great practice of release. And it's like you can also do like say a little prayer and like give it to something bigger than you, like transmute this, and or just release and let it go. And that can be super powerful too. So yeah, you can use journaling for manifesting what you want, right? So that's another way that it's super powerful for your mind to see, because your mind does what it thinks you want it to do, right? So when it sees you writing things out in your handwriting, and pro tip, write things out that you want to manifest, that you want to create, in I am form, in this already happened form. You know what I mean? So if you want, a red Lamborghini, I'm not sure why that just came to mind, but let's just say you want a red Lambo, right? So you're not going to say, oh my God, I really want a red Lambo. I really want to manifest this. Like, no, because your energy, your vibe is like coming from a place of lack and of not having, and you don't get things in that state. So you want to come from a place of being this person who has a red Lambo. You think people that are driving red Lambos are walking around like, I need this, I want this, like this like needy energy? Absolutely not. So you want to think from the state of like, how would I act and feel if I already were driving this car? What are the feelings that you think you would feel if you had this red Lambo? And so you want to get into that state, right? Close your eyes, visualize that, get into the feelings of it, figure out a way to tap into that. Maybe it'll help if you like, put on a video on YouTube of someone driving a red Lambo and imagine you in the driver's seat. Or maybe every time you see one on the street, you say things like, you notice what comes up for you when you do see it, and you notice if there's any like jealousy vibes or envy in there, and you flip it and you realize like just because they have it does not mean they're taking, and they're like they have something that's unattainable. It's showing you what's possible. So thank them for that. Even like just find a way to send them good vibes, because if you want that car, and again, I'm using this analogy, but obviously this could apply to anything and everything that you want to create or manifest in your life. And when you notice things that come up, it's those are your like subconscious blocks is a great way to look at it and think of it. And you want to clear those, because until you clear them, you're not going to get the thing that you are trying to manifest. So notice what comes up, not in like a shaming way. You find that you're jealous of this person, like, and you notice thoughts of how come they get to have it but I don't. You don't want to come from that energy. You want to notice yourself when you're in that energy, and you want to reframe that, and you want to start, and you will literally rewire your brain in doing that. And that's not how you want to be. That's not how you want to show up in the world. You don't actually want people, when you get that car, let's say, looking at you in that way and like just all this negative jealous energy. You don't want that. So notice yourself when you're doing that. Find a way to flip it, like I said, and reframe it in a way that's lighter and feels good for both parties. And you will literally notice a shift in your body, and you're changing your vibration as you do that. It's pretty powerful stuff. It's no small thing. So awareness is huge. Being aware of ourselves, being aware of our thoughts and what we're thinking and why, and then reframing them. And again, journaling for that. Like at the end of the day, notice what stands out, what thoughts are playing in your mind that happened earlier in the day, and why, what bothered you, maybe, and also remember to also note what amazing things happened that day, what good things happened that day, what made you smile, what made you laugh. We don't want to focus too much on the things that we are trying to change. We also want to be deep in our gratitude and all the good in our lives, so that grows more. You know what I mean? I think that's super important to mention and to keep in mind as you're in this self-development. I don't want to say phase of life, because I feel like it's a lifelong journey, but yeah. So, just in self-development, in life, just in your life's journey, you want to always remember to find gratitude for the things that you already did manifest, for the things that you already have in your life, for all the love in your life, the people in your life, the people you get to love freely in your life easily every single day. Like that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it deserves like, proper recognition, and just like hug a little deeper, hug a little longer, don't pull away as quick. So, yeah, I think gratitude is a game changer, especially when it comes to manifesting, because when you're in that vibe, you're in like a receiving vibe. You're in the everything works out for me vibe, and not in like a cocky, I'm so special, I'm better than everybody way at all, right? I think we're all connected. I think when you do better, you affect everybody in your life in a positive way. And even if it seems negative, like you're igniting them, you're igniting something in them, whether they voice it, whether they're aware of it or not. You are like, energy is real. We are all energy. So when you do better, when you're happier, when your energy is lighter, when you decide to forgive and let go of things that don't serve you, you're absolutely transforming yourself, and your life will reflect that. And the people around you will also be blessed by that, because again, we all affect each other. So it's not just for you, you know? And I think that's a beautiful thing. So back to the journaling for finding out what's in your subconscious mind. Sorry, I did not purposely wait till the end to tell you that. Down whatever I'm feeling, right? So maybe I'm feeling betrayed. Okay, that's a big one, but let's just go there. So I write down, I am feeling betrayed, or I have been feeling betrayed for however many days or whatever. Like, just write down what you know in the moment, just consciously, right? You dig deeper, and you let your mind do its thing, and know that when you're writing, you're letting your subconscious open up, right? So there's nothing you actually like have to do. You're just like following this little system of like, okay, so writing down what I know and then keep going. If your pen just keeps flowing, let it flow, right? Maybe you'll like uncover ways that this feeling reminds you of something that you experienced a year ago, or something you experienced 10 years ago, or something that you experienced in childhood. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. And that's when the bells go off, because I don't want to say everything goes back to childhood, but everything goes back to childhood. So I think that's the good news, because I think figuring out why we are the way we are is more than half the solution, and like, oh, more than half the way to like just happiness and peace, you know? And so you want to connect the dots. You want to learn, like, where did this belief come from? So you go back, so back in the journal part, right? So write out whatever comes through. Does this remind me of anything? Does this feeling of betrayal remind me of anything? See what pops up. Whatever pops up, write it down. Okay? Whatever it is, even if it doesn't like consciously really make sense to you in that moment, write it out. Okay? And then you want to say, like, and what does this mean about me? What made me feel betrayed, right? Obviously, you're including that. What led you to feel that way? And like in present day, right? You're going to write down what happened, everything that it reminds you of this big feeling that you're feeling, right? And then I want you to know, like, what does this mean about me? And just see what comes up. Again, this is just for you. No one's going to look at this. Like, you don't have to worry about anybody. Like, this is just for you and for your self-development, right? And honestly, like, we should all be doing this. We should all be like, just, being on top of our mental health, and just for, my God, like a shot at being happy in this life. Like, learn yourself better, and this is a great way to do that. So, what did I make this mean about me? And see what comes up. Is this ultimately true? Am I this thing, right? What might come up there, for example, might be that, like, I'm not the type of person that receives loyalty and real, authentic love. I've never experienced that, right? And does that mean I'll never experience it? So you're still writing. Does that mean I'll never experience it? Do I have proof of this? Like, do you have proof of the next, 50 years of your life, God willing, or whatever it is, depending on how old you are, 100 years of your life? Like, do I know for sure that that I don't deserve like loyalty and real unconditional love? Of course not. Of course not. You always want to bring it to that point where you realize this is not the ultimate truth. You know, this is not the ultimate truth. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't mean, it's not that it doesn't matter, but what happened in the past or up until right now, even, doesn't mean this is what gets to occur for the rest of my life. You get to change things. You get to make changes. That's exactly what you're doing. And the hardest part okay? Hear me when I say this about change is changing your mind. That is the hardest part. You're the one that you need to convince. You are the one that needs to be open. You are the one that needs to know that you are worthy, that you are enough, that you matter, that you are here on purpose. And the world is a better place with you in it. So those are some affirmations I tell my kids. And I wholeheartedly just share them with you. So yeah. So that's the key. You always come back to, this isn't the ultimate truth. This awful thing, I don't accept that, actually. How do I want things to be? What do I want to experience? And then you write that out. I get to receive unconditional love and loyalty. I get to be supported, seen, heard, whatever it is, right? And then your job is to always come back to those new beliefs that you just created. And what a powerful thing that is. And so every time you come back to those new beliefs of, I am enough, I get to be supported and loved, held and seen, I get to be unconditionally loved, everyone I love or whoever is important in my life partner, my best friends, whatever it is loyal to me, and me to them. And, and I reciprocate all of that, of course. And that's the work, is consistently coming back. So every time, your old thoughts come up of, I'm not unconditionally loved, or I don't get to receive like real unconditional love, or I'm not supported, or whatever it is, right? For you, you flip it, you notice it, you flip it back to your new beliefs that you are now choosing. And every time you do that, you are literally creating that new neural pathway, right? In place of the old one that says, I don't receive like unconditional love, you're creating a new neural pathway that way. And that will become your new way of being. But you have to stay consistent with it, because you've been thinking that old belief for, 38 years or whatever it is, however old you are, you've been probably thinking that belief for a long time, right? So now we want to think this new belief, and you will start seeing it in your life. It's truly amazing what happens and how that works. And it's all you. You will have done it all. You will have created that. And that's such a beautiful thing. So yeah, you are creating everything up until now. And I think that's a great way to end this video, because I don't want you being mad at me for that, or having like, negative energy towards Sophia, you know? So I know that's like a hard pill to swallow, but I'm telling you, I have found, you know, just real liberation in knowing that I get to shift things, and that my life is the way that it is because of me. How I think, act, and feel is what I experience in my life, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, because you can shift it. And I think we're going to end this video here. I have courses on this, and it's Sophia, again, with an FELLE.com. Yeah, all my courses have hypnotherapy in it, hypnosis in it, mindset work in it, self-development tools inside of it, and then video trainings of me talking like this. I think it's so important to be in the energy of how you want to be, think, and feel, and for me, that's what helped me like quantum jump to next level versions of myself in short amounts of time. And I'm all about that. Like, I don't want to wait, you know, years to be where I want to be. I want to get there right now. So if you're anything like me, you want to be in the energy and frequency of people who make you feel the way that you want to be feeling, and think the way you want to be thinking. So I love you. If you stayed till the end, put a yellow heart down below so that I know that you stayed. And I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you take some of these tools if you're not doing them already and apply them, and let me know in the comments how you find them, what you experience. I'd love to hear about them. And yeah, I'll see you next time.